What's up, Bollystars? Welcome back to Pinkvilla USA's Dare to Dream series. My name is Shiksha Mahtani, aka Bollygirl, and I'll be your host today. Today we have a very exciting guest for you guys, someone who is making waves in the dance world and spreading Bhangra all over the world. We have Lavesh Pritmani, the CEO of Learn Bhangra. Learn Bhangra started off in 2015 as an app that teaches people how to dance Bhangra and is now expanded to teaching workshops all over the world. Welcome, Lavesh. Thank you for being with us here today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Shiksha. I really appreciate it. It's good to be talking to you after we were just saying many years. So
Many years.
I'm excited to be on here. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I wanted to start off by talking about just Bhangra in general. Would you mind telling our audience exactly what Bhangra is, music, dancing, etc.?
Yeah, sure. So Bhangra is both a dance form and also a form of music, right? So it originated from the state of Punjab, right, in northern India and Pakistan, and originally came from the harvest festival, which is called Vaisakhi, that happens in April timeframe, right? And so during this harvest festival, the dancers would go out. I'm sorry, not the dancers. The farmers who had a great harvest would go out to the field. They would have a traditional mela, carnival, right? Vaisakhi mela. And at that time, they would celebrate their hard work by dancing. And those individual dances from all the villages across Punjab became the dances, the smaller folk dances that we call Bhangra today. So Bhangra is kind of a conglomeration of all these dance forms put together, these folk dances of Punjab.
And it's actually Vaisakhi this week, right?
Yeah, in fact, well, April 14th is typically your day for Vaisakhi. And so that's the day that we celebrate, we can say kind of like the birthplace of Bhangra, the birthday of Bhangra.
Let's play a fun game called Bhangra in Bollywood.
All right. I'm ready.
I'm going to show you a video of little clips of 6 different Bollywood songs.
Okay.
I want to know what you think of how Bhangra is represented. You talked about this a little bit before.
All right, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, and anything else that you can tell us about the outfits, the props, anything. So are you ready?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. So the first one is Soda Kara Kara from Good News in 2019. So this is the newest one of them all.
All right.
Here we go.
All right, got the party vibes going. That's good. Fun part. So, this one I gotta give a half a point to.
Half a point.
And the reason is, at least the good thing is, that's Supir, right? The original singer of the song, right? Supir. He's actually in the video. He's the guy in the black here. So they did at least put Supir in there, and they remade it to his same voice, right? Which is also something I can appreciate. The other thing is you have Diljit, right? And Diljit, even though he's made it into Bollywood and done a lot of things in Bollywood, he still is pretty true to his Punjabi culture and Bhangra music. And so the fact that they at least kept the artists and that similar, they have some semblance of the dress. You can see that they're wearing the chadre, and then they have the kurte and the vest. They don't really have the Bhangra pug, the turban. And I think they kind of did also just throw the turban onto, right, some of the people in the video to get that authentic, oh, we're doing Punjabi stuff. I do feel like that came out here too. But I think they did some justice to it, right? So I give it a half, though it's not as authentic in that folk element like the first couple songs.
Next up, Dil Chori from Sonu Kittu Ke Sweetie in 2018. Let's see.
Oh, they butchered this song. So I gotta tell you this song. Okay. the original from this song is such a classic in Punjabi culture, Punjabi parties. It's originally by and this Bollywood version of it just slaughtered it. I feel they really did not do justice to the original of the song. From just a music standpoint, it just didn't do it for me. But the Bhangra is as is not Bhangra. There's not a Bhangra step in that one. So very similar to Morning
They do the light bulb with the leg.
I know, that's just like the stereotypical thing you say, right? Say I'm doing Bhangra. But when Bhangra is so much more than that, and I think I honestly don't think screwing in the light bulb and petting the dog has anything to do with Bhangra. There's very few. There's like one slight motion that's very obscure that kind of uses the light bulb thing. Otherwise, there's not a single move that uses that. So I think,
agree, but this is what people think when they see.
You're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right, and that's what you say, right? Screw in the light bulb and pet the dog. That's what they say when you're doing Bhangra. But you don't do either of those motions almost at all in Bhangra. So I find it kind of weird how that made its way. And that's the kind of dance, that one particular, that routine that keeps that stereotype going. So no, that one doesn't hit it for me either.
All right, Morani Barke from Baraiho from 2018.
Okay. Oh man, all right. So I gotta make a comment about this one. I actually did a routine to this and I used that hook step. It was with a friend of mine named Hanisha out of Hong Kong, and we did this together. It's one of my favorite videos I've ever done with anybody I've danced with. I think we just killed it. I love the video, and normally I don't say that about my own videos, but that one I can still watch it and just smile because it was fun. We used that hook step, but I gotta tell you, no, that one does not pass the vibe check for Bhangra either. Not from a look and feel standpoint, in terms of what they're wearing. Again, it's just general desi wear. There's nothing Bhangra about it. And then they took a slight bit of a Bhangra step, the tapping motion, and they used kind of a fusion version of it, and then just completely did just those 4 beats and went into what we call just general Bollywood. So the music itself is that's the Morni song we were talking about earlier, right? The one that I was using. That's a very famous Balle Balle Punjabi song. But then they Bollywoodized it and lost a lot of the Bhangra when they went with it, right? And so for me, the original's way better for me compared to that one. So I don't think I can give that one a point either.
Oh man, not doing so good.
Oh no, we're losing it.
Next up, the Goggle song from Mubarak 2017, featuring Anil Kapoor, Arjun Kapoor. Let's see.
Okay, let's see it. Oh, oh boy. All right. This is exactly what I talk about when you say Bollywood. They say, okay, let's just tie a turban on a bunch of guys, and all of a sudden they're doing Bhangra, right? That's this is one where I think we definitely lose our authenticity towards Bhangra. That's definitely not in Bhangra costume. This is just general Indian kurta pajama, and so I think that. The moves themselves are not really at all Bhangra-ish either. I mean, maybe they have a small semblance of it, but this is just, okay, we're going to try to make it look like that at a base level. And I think the turban, the pug is the only thing that does that. The rest of it's kind of off from an actual Bhangra standpoint. So yeah, this is no point for this one.
No point. Oh, man. Next up, Disco Wale Kisko from Dil Bole Harippa from 2009.
All right.
Featuring Rani Mukherjee and Shahid Kapoor.
All right.
So what are you thinking?
So I'll give them some points for the outfits, right? I think it's lagging a little bit here. And I remember this one from back in the day, so I also their outfits are there, just like the previous video, but the moves are not. The moves are they're more disco than Bhangra for sure. So I think they dress them up right. But then one thing that you also see in there is, if you notice, there was the Gatka artist. He was spinning the chakri, right, the wheel, right, and that is comes from a Sikh martial arts called Gatka, right? And so yes, at a mela, at this kind of festival they were putting on, you would have potentially you would have Gatkas, something that's there. But in Bhangra itself, you would not ever really have Gatka, right? That's not a common thing you'd see in folk Bhangra. So this is where you take that cultural appropriation of, okay, let's make it look Punjabi and just throw random Punjabi things into it to give it that vibe, right? And I get what they're trying to do with the mela, and you could say that, yeah, Gatka could be part of something you'd see at a mela, but not something you'd see in a Bhangra performance, and like the way that they were doing it. That's been kind of changed over the years. So
Okay, so not so great.
1.5, maybe, yeah, give it a 1.5.
All right, last one. We're not doing so good. Teri Rab Ne Bana Di from Suhag, featuring Amitabh Bachchan.
Okay, let's see it.
Here we go.
It is laggy, but I can see it. It's lagging, but I can see it.
All right, tell us your thoughts.
So first and foremost, this is actually very, very good folk traditional Bhangra at that time. You have the right body, what we call body, translates as uniform, right? You have the right Bhangra bardiyan. So they're wearing exactly what you would even see today. They have traditional kunde, right? The cane prop. And then the basic moves, it was a little laggy, but the basic moves that they were doing were what you consider like the back, the up downs, were you consider basic Bhangra steps. So for the most part, yeah, the song, the music itself was not, but the overall vibe and the look and feel of it, yeah, I call it Bhangra. Yeah.
Okay, 1 out of 6, yes.
All right, let's see it.
Wow. Okay, so Bollywood did not do that well, honestly. No. If you really think about it, the best one was the first one, aka the oldest one.
Yep.
And you weren't that impressed with the newest one either. So.
Yeah, it's I think it's hard to nowadays find that Bhangra being portrayed in at least Bollywood. I've definitely seen that's a struggle. I think it's hard to find it in its authentic element. And that's not to say all the way across the board it's like that. There are examples that you've seen some bits of it, but I think overall it just seems like sometimes maybe there's this thought that, oh, we've got to take the original thing and just innovate upon it for the sake of innovating, and forgetting that sometimes the original thing is beautiful in itself, right? And maybe that also has to do with kind of this trend of, I'm sure you can speak to it as well, right? There's so many old songs being redone. I mean, that's basically every song nowadays. I'm sure you know even more than me. I can give you 50 examples, I feel like, of that. So maybe it's just kind of like that trend is there, that same thing with Bhangra. Well, everybody knows what authentic Bhangra is, or the stuff out of Punjab. We're gonna add a little flavor to it. Maybe that's what's causing this. I don't know, but that might be the one thing that keeps it from sometimes being appreciated in its original form as well.
Well, thank you for playing and sharing all of that with us. Now, before we end our interview, I was wondering, is there a dance move that people can do when sitting at their desks, when they don't have space to move, just as a stress reliever when they're having a bad day or a busy day?
I think so. So one of the biggest things that you do in Bhangra is you got to shake your chest and your shoulders, your delt muscles and your chest, right? Okay. So all we got to do is you got to lift them and drop them, and drop and drop. That's it. And then sometimes you want to vibe with it. You can put up your hands like this. Yeah, you can put your hands out in cha, right? Just like that. Boom. So you're getting that upper body workout, even without moving, even without having to get up out of your chair. And you're still doing a very important part of folk Bhangra, which is the chest and the shoulders, right? So you always have those shoulders drop. You see that whenever you're doing, dancing or doing Bhangra. So maybe that's the one you can do when you're sitting and just getting bored and you want to move.
That's awesome, guys. Just practice this. You got
There you
it.
go. Uh-huh.
Balle, 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 balle.
There it is.
That's amazing. You've even managed to stay true to the names for the moves. You didn't westernize the names of your movements. Has that proven to be challenging with the Western audience?
I don't think so. I think the ones that have come across it and want to learn it appreciate that, right? They
Okay.
say to themselves, okay, this is something I'm trying to learn in as an authentic dance form, not just for fitness or cardio. I'm really learning it from a dance form. So for me, I prefer wanting to know the actual name of it and trying to do it. And I think that's for anybody that wants to learn anything. When you want to learn it, you want to hopefully learn it properly if you have a passion for it. I think that's what most of our Western audience who's picked up Bhangra has tried to do. So it's interesting to see them take these very traditional Punjabi words, not even Hindi words, sometimes many of them, and very specific kind of terms, and use them when they're teaching, or refer back to me and say, oh, that Tamal step, or I tried to do this in Fumriya, and it's like, what? Like, who knows what these means? So it's heartwarming to see that people appreciate it, and want to learn it.
Thank you so much for being with us here today. We really appreciate it. And we will be keeping an eye out on your socials and your website for your next project.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Shiksha. It was so nice catching up with you. I'm honored to be on the show and have the chance to speak with you. It was fun. It was a good time, and hopefully all of you listening in will continue to, or for maybe if you haven't done Bhangra before, start doing Bhangra. For those of you that have done it, continue to do it. And do engage, stay connected on social media. We love to see Bhangra all over the world. Tag us in your videos. That's what it's all about for us, is just sharing and enjoying. So thank you again so much for having me.
Thank you, Lavesh.